Let me
then
finish.
yes, I am guilty of being indoctrinated.
I am not
with fact.
indoctrinated.
Pastor, I have a question.
Thank you.
I want to ask you then, what does it
Fabulous.
mean, Pastor, then
Yeah,
to
he's
be
fabulous.
indoctrinated? So are you
Thank
saying
you.
if you take anything as just face value without questioning it, then that's indoctrination? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that indoctrination is simply learning one point of view without an opposing point of
So if
view.
I-
We
being
have
able
to
to
the
If I were to
point
tell
of
you
view.
that I'm reading all, well, Pastor, if I were to tell you I'm reading all 4 of the Answers in Genesis, the New Answers books, because RJ Downer and I are reading all 4 of them, and we're writing a rebuttal to all of their chapters regarding biology, geology, and paleontology, would you say I'm still being indoctrinated, even though I'm reading the opposing work?
You know what? You need to let me read it and let me go back and do your work. Because I'm telling you,
Well, Pastor, you
it's
haven't
evolution
responded
is
to what I've said regarding
easy.
biology.
I don't know why it's so difficult to get yes or no answers from people. And
Well,
I
if it were
recommend
so
this.
easy, if
Ask
it
direct
were so
questions,
easy,
get direct
Hey,
answers.
we have to be fair, though. We have to be fair. The pastor is a former politician, so that's where that comes from. They are
think so?
trained
That's
not
true.
to
I
answer
mean,
yes or no
that may be the case,
questions.
but
It has to
yeah,
be
if
as
I-
middle of the road as possible. That's just the
yeah, that
politician
might,
coming
Pastor,
out.
might be true there.
I asked you earlier, because you say evolution is easy, but I asked you earlier if you could describe the process for me, and you said, "Oh, living fossils." So I'm asking you again, because we're coming back around to something that we brought up earlier. Can you describe the process for me? This isn't just yes or no. I want to see you do it.
When you say the process, how we get from an ape to a man,
No.
how we get from
How
a
does
tree
speciation
to
occur?
an ape
How does speciation
to a man,
occur?
is that
didn't
the
go from
process
the
you're
tree
talking
to
about?
Please stop saying
Not
that.
what I'm asking.
Wait a minute.
Broken.
Is that the wait a minute? Wait a minute.
No,
He asked me a
no.
question. I'm
that's not what I
responding to the
asked
question he asked.
That's not what I asked. That's
You
not what
broke
I asked
Kyle,
you.
finally.
Can you
You broke
explain
Kyle, Pastor.
in that case? Can you explain speciation? Can you explain how speciation occurs?
See,
Oh my God! Oh, I
this
wish I
this
got
is
that
the
all.
point that I'm trying to make
This
to
is a good
you. This
question.
right
Why
here.
can't you answer this? If you look,
No,
look
no,
it,
no.
we've all
Because
looked-
what I'm trying to say, no, the point I'm trying to make to you is this right here, is that you guys do not understand the basic fundamentals of life.
okay, stop.
You're hiding behind.
Stop, Pastor. Please stop. Okay, this is where we're going to jump the shark here, and let me clarify something to you. He's read the technical stuff. I've read some of it, but I've also read the creationist stuff. I've talked to numerous creationists over the years. I mentioned in the journal Creation. Dr. Humphreys has mentioned me in the journal Creation as a critic. Okay, so I do know the arguments for creationism very well. I've debunked every one of them. And in fact, I've even gotten Ken Hovind to change his position on a few. So don't say that we don't understand the fundamentals. When he just asked you a question on speciation, and you have no idea. Wait, let me finish.
Wait, no, I do. No, let me say this here.
No, you're not going to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of asking you something, because Jackson Wheat just literally asked you about speciation, and you had no freaking idea what that even is. Can you tell us the difference between?
That's what,
Okay. So tell us what speciation is.
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
When you're talking about one form change to another distinct, different form, no, I don't believe in that.
But nobody does.
No, that's all
what speciation is. That's not what speciation is.
See, you know what you're doing? You're changing. You don't. You know what? Now, what is speciation? Tell what speciation is.
Which type? Allopatric, peripatric?
Tell me what speciation is. He said what I said was wrong. Tell me what it is.
So which type? Jackson, explain to him. Would you want to pick one? Do you want to know allopatric, peripatric, sympatric? What type of speciation do you want to know?
Well, allopatric should be the easiest one for him to grasp.
Allopatric, peripatric, any of them. You can, any of them you want to.
Okay.
Speciation. Any of them.
Hold on.
Explain any of them.
Hold on. Steve, what were you saying?
I just want to know if he knows what allopatric speciation is before you tell him.
Oh boy, I don't think we should ask him any more questions.
Yes or no?
No. I told you what speciation is, and you're trying to tell me something different when I say it. So if it's different when I say it, then you tell me what you think it is.
I'll explain it to you.
Tell me what you think it is.
So speciation is the process by which new species are produced, right? We were talking about cladogenesis. We were talking about cladogenesis earlier, which is where you have a single prior species, which becomes
Isn't that what I
species.
just said?
No, you didn't say that. You said one kind becoming another kind or type or whatever, which means nothing to anyone. So I will explain to you, because you did not answer my question the 3 or 4 times I asked. So
No, I just explained you what speciation is. I just told you, and you just came back and recited in a more formal way
variation
what I said. And if you were listening to me, you'd have said, "Yep, Pastor, you're right."
That's not. No,
you said types
right.
and kinds, neither of which mean anything to me.
Yeah,
types and kind
I
means
didn't
nothing.
say types and kind.
You did say kind.
I said distinct.
That still doesn't mean anything.
Species.
So let me ask you this.
And when I said a distinct new species, you should have said, "Yep, Pastor, that's what speciation is."
Pastor, that now, but you didn't say that previously.
Wait, Pastor.
That's what I said earlier.
Pastor, this is important. Do you accept speciation occurs?
I do not believe in evolution. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I do not believe in evolution at all.
Evolution leads
He didn't ask you about that. He asked you about speciation.
I didn't ask you about evolution.
Do you believe that speciation happens alone?
Speciation happens because of evolution.
I do not believe in speciation the way you define evolution. No, I do not.
I were to tell you.
No, I just answered. In the way you asked me a question, I'm answering it.
Guide.
In the way you define speciation and evolution, no, I do not believe in it at all. No.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you something that Dr. Jonathan Sephardi had told me. He's a very well-known creationist. He's a PhD in chemistry. Are you familiar with Dr. Sephardi?
No. Okay. He doesn't even read creationist stuff.
Yeah, I don't think he even reads the creationist material. But Dr. Jonathan Sephardi is a very big name in creationism. He told me specifically. He said, "Steve, if a creationist ever tells you they don't accept speciation, then they don't understand creationism or evolution." And I think he has a very good point on that, because in order to have the creationist, let me don't laugh, because I'm explaining to you something. In order to have the amount of biodiversification from something like the Noah's Ark narrative, you have to have speciation. And so to deny speciation, you're denying creationism too. So not only are you denying evolution, you're denying creationism. So how do you think 8.7 million extant species of animal, or what is it, 8.7 million eukaryotes? I think it is. How do you explain that many species without speciation from the ark?
You know what? I'm gonna have to laugh to myself, because I see how disingenuous you guys are in what you are saying. I'm talking now. I'm talking now. I allowed you to talk. Let me finish.
Yeah, but you're accusing us of being disingenuous, and that's
I gave the definition of speciation, and I told you I don't believe in evolution. There is no support for evolution. There is no support, no macroevolution. You're not going to find it anywhere. You don't find the transitional form from ape to man.
Okay, now
you do
you're
not
just being
find the
disingenuous.
transitional forms.
Now you're being disingenuous.
And you can go throughout. You can go. Wait, I'm talking. Why you guys interrupt when I'm talking?
You're not talking. You're bloviating. You're talking nonsense. Like you're literally
what
you're saying right now. There's no truth to it. There's absolutely no truth to it.
Pastor, you are just laying out a bunch of claims, some of which we've already debunked within the course of this talk. Evidently, you didn't hear us.
You have not debunked the thing. You can't debunk the truth.
Pastor, you haven't even heard. You can't describe to us the process of evolution. First of all, so I don't even think you know what you're arguing against.
Can you describe the process of God created heavens and the earth?
I asked you repeatedly, at least 4 times, to describe how evolution.
I don't believe in evolution.
I'm not answering.
I don't believe in evolution. I don't study evolution.
I don't believe you're
right.
I don't believe in it.
You're a method actor.
It's a farce.
I know.
Evolution was created during times of slavery to make a different race feel less than another race. Evolution was based on eugenics.
Your Bible was the thing that people who were racist back in the day was trying to
you're onto something now. Now you're onto something now. what it is, it's not a debate about evolution. It's a debate about whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God.
No, it's
now
not.
this is where we are. This is when the rubber hits the road. Now that's what we're talking about. So evolution is a farce. You know it's a farce. But for you to admit evolution is a farce would be for you to admit that the God of the Bible is right. And you can't admit that. So that's where it is. That's what it is. It's about your belief in God. It's not about evolution. It's about you. So now you hit the nail on the head. Then
hold on. It's okay. There right now in the chat, or at least there was earlier, was a biochemist who is a Christian. I know at least Kyle Steven. I know him. His name is Sygart.
Yeah, get him in.
He is very much a Christian, and he accepts evolution. He knows that this is true. This has nothing to do with God belief at all. The head of the Human Genome Project was an evangelical Christian who also accepts evolution. This has nothing to do with whether or not God exists. You have not been able, thus far in this discussion, to answer any questions regarding the process of evolution or any questions about biology whatsoever. I asked you about anisogamy. I've asked you about living fossils. I've asked you about speciation. You have given me jack crap on every single one.
Now you're lying. You're lying.
No,
you're lying.
You have not told me.
I told you a speciation word. You don't want to accept my answer. No, you came back and repeated the very same thing that I said.
No.
You're lying.
No.
You really didn't.
Yes, you are. You're lying. I told you what speciation was.
All right.
I told you.
Allopatриc speciation. Hang on. I will explain it to you for free.
Hang on.
No, I already told you what it is.
Sylvester.
You did not.
Okay, then let's go to this route. Can you give me an example of sympatric speciation? If you looked into this, can you give me an example of sympatric speciation according to what evolution would say?
Let's do. How about this right here?
No.
Let me start asking. No, wait. See this.
How about answering Steve's question?
See, this is what it happened. This is what has happened. As the Supreme Court decided in 1968, Supreme Court 1968 in this country decided that the only competing argument against creationism was evolution. And they said because of separation of church and state, then they said it was mandated that the public schools had to teach evolution because teaching creationism was a violation.
You're on mute. You're on hold, Pastor Williams, because of a very specific reason. Now, if you're going to accuse people of lying in here, I don't take kindly to that. It really irritates me. Okay, because nobody in here has accused you of outright lying. Steve, in fact, said at the beginning that he honestly thinks you believe what you're saying. But Steve asked you a question. I want you to answer it because this goes to you saying that we're lying or we don't know what we're talking about. So Steve asked you a question. Don't pull the politician bullshit and step around and try to reword it. Just answer Steve's question. If you can do that, then we'll continue. If you can't answer Steve's question, then we're done. That's all my brain.
Now, if I answer Steve's question, I want to answer my question, okay?
Sure. That's fair enough.
All right.
Afterwards,
that's fair.
All right. So let me
answer
make sure you understand the question.
All right.
Make sure you understand
answer the question, Steve.
Can you give me an example of what would be considered sympatric speciation according to evolution? Or you know what? If you want to give me an allopatric or ring speciation, that's fair as well. Pick one. Just give me an example of what we have seen or would be an example of either. Say this is what evolution would say is an example of allopatric speciation or sympatric speciation. Either or.
Speciation going from ape to man. Now, that's my answer. No. Okay? Now, can I ask you a question?
Speciation
now,
that is
all
not
right. So you reject it, right? You reject it, right?
Yeah,
you reject my
now. We're not rejecting it.
Okay, you're good.
It's not the correct answer.
Good. You reject it, right?
No, it's like me saying this.
Good. That's fine. You reject my answer, right? That's good.
Because it was a wrong.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Yeah. You told me to answer the question. I answered the question. Then you rejected it. So then let me ask you a question.
Not rejecting.
Now let me. Wait a minute. You said you're gonna give me a chance to ask a question too. Wait a minute. You rejected. You rejected my answer.
That's not an answer.
Wait a minute. You rejected my answer, right? You rejected it. So that was my answer. That was my answer.
Can I
that was my
answer
answer.
Real quick?
Now, my turn to ask questions. You said I can ask the question next. Wait a minute. Let's be fair. You said I can ask the question next as I answer the question.
You didn't answer the question.
That's what I was told.
Let me explain why.
That's what I was told.
Listen to me very carefully. There's a difference between an answer and a response. Okay? You gave a response. You didn't give an answer. Okay? An answer is something that is an actual response that is true according to what my question asks. Anybody can give a response. I can say, hey, here's a question. You say, hey, screw you, Steve. That's a response. It is not an answer. If you would have given me a correct answer to the question, then I would have said, yes, you have an understanding of the difference between like allopatric and sympatric speciation. Your response of this ape to man is not an answer.